I'm Jivin Johnny Etheredge. This is Focus on Community on KRVM. And our guests this afternoon are a couple, actually, Martha and Greg Sutherland. Martha, tell me exactly what you do at the Eugene Public Library.
I am a library assistant at the Eugene Public Library. I work in the Adult Services Department. We have all kinds of things to offer. We have books, of course. It is a library. We have movies. We have music. We have ebooks, so electronic books for downloading or streaming. We have e-movies, e-magazines. We have free access to Ancestry.com, the New York Times. We have video games for checkout. We have virtual reality headsets, 3D printing, in-house puzzles and board games. We have drop-in tutoring for adults working on English skills. We have reading groups. We, by the way, have records at the library. They are not circulating at present, but we do have a collection of vinyl records and a 1971 Panasonic turntable and receiver combination, set of headphones, and directions on use. Because let me tell you, a lot of people have never played a record player before. But it's sitting right there on the second floor of the library, and any visitor is welcome to use it. It's great. It's a beautiful collection. I'm very proud of it.
Now, at the outset, I said that we have a couple here in the studio, Martha. Greg, your husband, is manager of the House of Records. Now, you are here because you are what would you call yourself, the moderator of these record listening events at the library?
I'm one of the moderators. So far, there have been only two. But Martha plans to have more. She's invited people from the community to come in and play records. But basically, I see my role as someone who introduces the record to the folks who have gathered there to listen to it, tell them a little bit about the record and the context of the times of when it was made. And then we spin the record, and then I open it up for questions and testimonials. And people are really ready to talk and tell their stories. Well, the first listening we did was Sgt. Pepper. So we had some people talk about the first time they listened to it and, just some impressions they had of it. Because I played a mono version of Sgt. Pepper on a mono record player. So maybe quite a few of the people there were familiar with Sgt. Pepper, but they hadn't heard it in mono yet, and it's a different experience. Digital sound and analog sound are different. I like to use this analogy. A CD is like a photograph of you. A vinyl record is like you in all your three dimensions, your blood and skin and bones, and there's just more depth to a vinyl record than there is to a CD or an MP3 code.
Your next vinyl record listening event at the Eugene Public Library is coming up when?
It's coming up this Sunday from noon to 1:30.
And the album is going to be?
Pet Sounds by the Beach Boys.
I've heard of that one.
Have you?
Can a person without a library card show up at this event or other library events and participate?
Absolutely. Our doors are open to everyone, with or without a card. You can come in and watch a movie on one of our computers. You can come in and listen to records. You can come in and read a book, read a magazine. There's just so much for you to do, with or without a card. Oh, and of course, you're welcome to come to the record listening parties or any of our public events. They are free, and they are there for everyone who lives in the community or outside of it. Many of our programs happen at the downtown library, but we have two branches, one just a couple of blocks away from here, the Sheldon branch, and one out in West Eugene in the Bethel area. We have cultural programming. We bring in, musicians representing different international culturals to come in and play music. We bring in award-winning authors, scholars. There's really something for everyone at the library of all ages. And of course, we have a number. There's a teen center. We have a children's center and just amazing children's programming. We have a media lab. In our media lab, we have software and electronic components that allow people to record music. You can go in there and check out an electric guitar, an electric bass, and record yourself. We've got microphones. We also have an audio cassette deck, a VCR. For those of you who don't know, that's a video cassette recorder, and a record player, so that you can digitize your analog collections and, keep them in digital form. We have a scanner that can scan photographs and slides. We actually have a service called Book a Librarian, and you can sit with a library staff member for an hour and get assistance in the media lab, digitizing your photographs, digitizing old home movies, records, what have you. And in addition to that, you can get assistance downloading ebooks and audiobooks and that sort of thing, or just developing basic computer skills one-on-one with somebody who knows.
Aside from Pet Sounds coming up this coming Sunday afternoon, have you looked down the road to think about what other album listening parties you may have at the library?
Well, actually, Martha has. I could answer your question and she can elaborate. I do know that we're going to be doing Joni Mitchell Hejira. Are we doing Miles Davis Kind of Blue?
Definitely. Miles Davis Kind of Blue will be coming up in 2020. We may be aiming for February on that. That'll be our first jazz album listening, which is great. In January, though, we are likely going to sneak in an album that is probably rock and roll at its finest. I think we're going to aim for some metal. Bringing metal into the library is a wonderful idea, and I'm really looking forward to it. I love making noise in the library.
And after each listening, we invite people to go up to the whiteboard and write down any suggestions that they might have for future listenings. The more the merrier in these listenings. It's a great experience to listen to these records collectively with a bunch of other humans. There's something about it, that this collective experience, that's really neat. That's different from you listening alone in your room.
Okay, you can learn more about Eugene Public Library fun events and useful services on the library's Facebook page, Eugene Public Library. Greg Sutherland from House of Records, Martha Sutherland from Eugene Public Library.
Thank you so much, Johnny, for inviting us here and allowing us to talk about this terrific series of record listening programs, and also for allowing me to talk up all of the exceptional services that we offer at the library and collections. And it's pretty exciting.
My pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.